Alright guys, so we are closing in on the final chapter where we'll discuss a little bit about the trading plan, how to basically make it, how to backtest and forward test your trading plan, and then we're gonna go over to funding companies and how they can change your life and how they changed mine, because it's just a game that you can play easily to make nice money. The moment I'm trading 2.8, I think, or 2.9 million in funded accounts across multiple firms. And I will teach you exactly how I do it so you can do it yourself. It's not hard. I'm not special. I just found and cracked the code, simplified everything, and yeah, that's about it. So about the trading plan. The trading plan, we did talk about that in a previous video, the quick trading plan. So I'm not gonna go over the rules again, but it's very, very important, guys. You need to understand, trading is not, in trading you don't find a secret strategy with all the rules and you just apply them and you make money. That's not gonna happen. Trading is, you need to think of trading like something that you do, like fighting, right? Nobody can do the fighting for you. Somebody can teach you how to box, but you cannot box like them without training, right? I think you understand. So it's the same thing with trading. Somebody can teach you how to trade. Somebody can show you the concepts and everything you need to know. Somebody can show you the trading plan that he uses, but that doesn't mean you're going to be profitable and you will be able to trade the same. So please get that out of your mind. A lot of my students, most of them that fail, they don't understand and they keep looking for that secret strategy, that golden nugget, that rule, that setup that they can use without thinking. They don't want to think. That's an issue that most people, and not just in trading, overall, they make this mistake where they don't want to work, right? They want to find something simple that they can use and just make money. So they think making money is easy without putting in the work, but that's completely false. So you need to understand that if you want to trade and if you want to make money trading, you need to put the work in. And I mean like truly work on it. At first, when I started, I also was looking for the secret strategy. I was jumping from one course to another, just watching stuff, trying to trade Fibonacci, trying to trade retail. Then I went to trade 1 minute structure. Then I went to understand liquidity. And then finally, when nothing was clicking, I just decided, okay, I need to focus. I need to look at the charts. I need to understand what happens, because if I understand what happens and when it happens, I can be profitable. I can make profit off the moves. So it's simple. A lot of gurus, they try to sell the magic strategy that they use, the 1 minute entries and stuff like that. That doesn't work. So you need to understand, if you want to make money from trading, you must become a trader. And to become a trader, you need to work on yourself a lot. You need to work on your mindset, first of all, on your psychology, everything like that. And then you need to work on your trading plan. So let's go over the trading plan once again. So what does a trading plan needs to include? The most important things, let's call them the non-negotiable, right? Right? So you have, this is based on yourself. You need to choose the pairs you want to trade. You need to choose the session or sessions that you want to trade. You need to choose, you need to understand how many hours per day you have available to trade. This is after. You need to understand the risk you want to take per setup. You need to have the entry rules. You need to have the exit rules. You need to have the trade management rules. I already presented all of them, so you can use the same. This is what I found to work best for me. So for me, taking it myself, pairs that I trade: Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, sometimes US30, and sometimes even GBP JPY. But I hate that pair, so I'm not going to trade it ever again. But these are the pairs that I trade, mostly the first three. And then I also need to add dollar, because we need to watch dollar. Then the sessions. I trade London and I trade New York Open. And sometimes, but this is later down your road when you already understand something, right? So again, I told you, when you're choosing the pairs you want to trade, it's the same thing for sessions. If you want to trade EURUSD first, you need to watch EURUSD for a few months every single day. Then sessions the same. If you want to trade London, you need to watch London session every single day for months. And then you can add New York, test, back test and forward test New York, and then go over to another session. For me, I understand how all sessions move, so I can trade any session I want. But I'm not going to do that, obviously. I'm only going to trade the session that I'm best at. So that is London, New York Open, and sometimes I trade New York late session, where we usually have a reversal. So, for that reason, then, the hours per day you want to spend. For me, I spend 1.5, let's say 2 hours London, because I like to watch Frankfurt, pre-London, and then I watch 2 hours, or 3 sometimes, depends, New York session. So that's about 5 hours. That's a rough estimate. I'm saying that because I also work on the mentorship. I also work on my other groups. So I spend a lot of time on my computer. So I have the charts always opened. So maybe I spend the whole day, but that doesn't mean I trade the whole day. That's the hours I want to trade. Now, risk. We're just going to go based on the live account because that's going to be our main focus about how to approach funded accounts and pass the challenges. I'm going to talk in another video. But for the live accounts, for me, I risk usually 0.5% to 1% per trade. Just because I have a lot of accounts, I have confidence. So it's not really worth it for me to trade 0.25% and take 50 trades a week. I'd rather just take 2 trades with 1% risk, every single week, and then cycle the accounts and be profitable that way. So, just a second. All right. So that's why I'm saying you need to also have the right risk percentage. All right. So entry rules. This I already went over it. It all depends on the session you trade, right? If you trade EURUSD, London, it's a certain entry rule with liquidity, Frankfurt, Asia, taken, pro order flow, counter order flow. There's a bunch of rules. For me, entry rules during during London, I always enter after liquidity being taken. So after Frankfurt low or high has been taken, or Asia high or low has been taken. Always. I never trade without that. And I also always trade with the previous day's order flow. So if yesterday we had EURUSD bullish, like yesterday, you see here, not today. Today we are bearish. Yesterday, right? You see, yesterday we are bearish. So Wednesday, Thursday came in. I'm going to trade in the same direction. So this was a nice London setup that I took. We had the Asia low plus Frankfurt low taken. You see the reversal. That's a quick trade out for the day. Then today, you see, these kind of setups, I do like to take them sometimes because I see price has hit a major level, 1.1, and it's pulling back hard. So we're coming off a very strong momentum from yesterday. So coming into today London session, we could see a big drop basically. So sometimes I would enter like this more aggressively with just straight up London Open and then try to cover, have a bigger stop loss, like 20 pips when I sense there's going to be a big move. But this comes with experience. Personally, I didn't catch this entry, so can't really speak about it, but the same principle applies, right? It's just you need to understand how the pairs move. And then New York session, the entries are basically either waiting for the retracement of London. So I can have something like this, from this high, this low, and look for that entry. Today the same, I'm looking at something like this to continue the down momentum. Something like this, you see. So basically I want to see New York going in the same direction, unless we had a big drop during London, and then I will wait for New York to pull back. So I will catch the pullback and use a lower risk or just a better and more aggressive risk management rules. Now, exit rules, I almost go for a 1-2. For my trades, London session, I can go out faster. I can either go for a 1-1. It also depends on the risk. If I use 1%, I usually get out at 1-1 or just secure 80%. If I use 0.5, then I will just go for a 1-2. And also depends on the time. So if I enter during London Open for 1-2 and price gives a move and then just ranges for like 2 hours, then I'm gonna cut the trade because I want to see the quick move. I don't like staying in trades and catching the after session pullback, because after each session, so let's say we have London Open, London gives a move, and then after London session until New York session, you usually have a pullback. So if you catch the initial move on London, just secure profits, and then price will pull back, and then you can look for another entry. So a lot of people also don't understand this, right? Once you have the initial push, you need to just secure profits, and then because you're gonna have a retracement. Same here, you see? If you cut a sell here, you see price starting to lose bearish momentum, I will just secure profits here or even close the whole trade because I know price can pull back. So why should I stay in this trade? Because price can also create a V shape and then take me out with break even, and I just lost like 40-50 pips. I don't want to do that, right? I want to secure profits and then maybe catch the pullback with New York in the next session and then move on. So guys, in trading, you also need to understand that profits are only yours once taken. Always secure profits. You see how this compounds a lot on funded accounts. For me, this was a deal breaker, right? When I started stacking funded accounts, I didn't try to make 5% on each account for withdrawals. No, I understood that less is more, right? Less profits gathers to a lot of profits. So if I have 6 accounts and I make 1% on each, that's basically 6%. And I'm minimizing risk, right? 1% here, 1% there, 1% there. And it's very easy to hit 1% profit, right? So once you hit that and you stack accounts, then the profit compounds. So I always like to secure profits. Even if I have my payout date in 2 weeks and I take a trade and I make 1%, I'm just going to leave it there, right? Because profits were secured. I want the money to come back to me and then trade from there. The market is not going anywhere. So a lot of people make the mistake where they start going into profit, 1%, 2%, 3%, and they continue to risk. They continue to go aggressive because they want to hit the leaderboard or they want to make a lot of profits. And then they start taking a lot of losses and they pull back and they even blow the account after being in profits. So our goal here is to make as much profits as possible. And I will go over the whole funded accounts framework that I use in probably the next videos. Now the trading plan to follow, trade management. I use the same trade management. So I like to go break even as fast as possible. If I see a 1-to-1, I go break even always. If price just spikes up or down, I go break even or just cover the low or the high. So I'm very, very aggressive with my trade management because I also understood. And guys, this is coming from someone that's been trading for 4 or 5 years, and I know I've experienced everything. So trust me. The goal in trading is not to make profits, is to preserve your capital. So if you have the chance to basically de-risk from your trade, just do it. I like that word, de-risk. So once you enter a trade, you basically put money on the line. You risk something. And your goal is to get your risk out as fast as possible. Because then you can either go to break even and not lose anything, or you can make money. So that's the sweet point, right? When you have no risk on the table and you have a chance to make profits. So our goal is going to be to basically have no risk in our trades. So that's why sometimes I like to go down on the 1 minute, on the 5 second to get entries, because you can get your risk out very, very fast. You can go break even fast compared to using a 15-minute or 5-minute setup. But that's way easier on the psychology because you just place the trade, you set an alert, and then you let the market play out. But always go break even when you have the chance. Always get your risk out and then just hold the trade. It's just game changing. If you focus, again, it's all about focus. If you focus on making money, you're probably not going to make money. If you focus on preserving capital and getting your risk out of your trades, you're probably going to make money in the long term. So it's very important what you focus on in life, in trading, in everything. If you put your focus somewhere where it's important, then the results are gonna come. So very, very important. And yeah, that's how you create your trading plan. It's not hard. You need to understand what kind of person you are. So like me, if I am impatient, right? I like things fast. Sometimes that destroys me in trading. Sometimes I make a lot of money, but usually it just blows up in my face when I'm very, very aggressive, because I tend to over risk, I tend to over trade, and then I just blow accounts. So for me, because I know I'm that kind of person, I try to stick to same percentage risk and use the higher time frames for entries. So 50 minutes, right? Like this setup, if I'm gonna take it like this, have a 25 pip stop loss, go for a 1 to 2, and just let the market play out. If it goes tomorrow, it goes. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I don't like to watch trades. So because I know myself, I made my trading plan in that way. So I enter the trade and then I'm not watching it. I'm not managing it until an alert goes off. I'm not adding entries. I don't do anything like that. Unless I'm on a challenge, of course, where I tend to go crazy. So you need to understand what type of person you are. If you're very calm, then that's good for trading. You can basically, you have the chance to go either way. You can trade the 1 minute, you can trade the 15 minute, you can trade the 1 hour. Doesn't matter because you're calm, right? You need to understand how stressed you are. You need to understand, basically if you're stressed, if you had a bad day, if you didn't sleep good. I noticed when I don't sleep good, I can't focus and I take losses. So I'd rather understand that and then step away from the charts until the next day. Just because I know myself. So again, self-reflection is very, very good. If you had a stressful day, if you had a fight with someone, didn't sleep well, just backtest for that day. Watch the markets, but just don't risk your money. Just go on a challenge or a demo account and use a lower risk. Don't go crazy. And yeah, I think that's about it for the trading plan. It's not hard, guys. You need to understand the pairs, the sessions, the hours you want to trade, the risk, the entry rules, so the certain setups that you take, the exit rules, and then you just need to go and backtest and forward test that trading plan over a period of time to see if it's profitable or not. You need to test the pairs and the session and the setup. It's that easy. So if you want to trade the London Frankfurt low, London spike, liquidity taken and reversal, you just trade that, backtest that, and see if it works. If you want to trade New York, you basically do that. And that's what I said. Once you understand the setup, so once you understand to identify this every single time and take advantage of it, then you can move on towards the next setup, which is New York. You start watching New York, how it plays out. You start to understand how it plays out, and then you add that also, and then you keep adding stuff. You keep adding to your weapon collection, let's call it that, your trading weapon collection. Keep adding setups, and then your skill really elevates, and then you're gonna see the success coming in, just because you accumulated all those skill points, and now you can kill the market anyway. That's the goal for you guys. That's the goal for me, to teach you how to kill the market every single setup, every single day. Doesn't matter how you trade, how you take entries. You can trade anyhow, right? If you have a trader that can only trade 4-hour setups, that trader only has 2 or 3 setups every single month. We can have a setup every single day if we want to. So that's the goal for me, to teach you guys. So, yeah, I will probably update this when I have more information, but so far I think this is enough. I need to hear some feedback from you guys in order to understand what you guys need further.